I've always wanted to learn how to type with all 10 fingers. I've spent my whole life just poking at the keys with 2 fingers, but I wanted to go faster than that. Before I started learning though, I needed to test my current speed to see how much I needed to improve. 63 words per minute with just 2 fingers. I feel like that's pretty good. Honestly, this was a lot faster than I thought it would be, and I started to get concerned about how feasible this challenge would be, especially after my first time trying with all 10 fingers. Okay, I'm not even joking, I just got 14 words per minute. I told you I've never done this before. It was clear that I had a long way to go before I got anywhere close to my current speed. So I kept practicing until I could barely stay awake, and then I decided to call it a night. On day 2, I picked up right where I left off and just started practicing as much as I could. But I realized that I should learn the basics of typing before trying to get faster. Eventually, I managed to squeeze out 24 words per minute, which is an improvement, but it's still not very good. So I got out my phone and started watching tutorials on how to type, and these are a few things that I learned. Now, most of these things are probably pretty obvious to most people, but I had no idea, so I'm just gonna explain them anyways. The first thing you need to know when you're learning how to type is the positioning of your hands and your fingers on the keyboard. You want to keep your index fingers on the F and J keys, and then the rest of them on that same row of keys. Each of these fingers control a different set of keys, and every time you type, your fingers should reset to this position. So with all of this in mind, I decided it was time to get back to practicing. So I sat back down and started typing for what felt like ages, but I still wasn't making any progress. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get anything over 25 words per minute. And at this point, I kind of felt like giving up. I gave up. Turns out I completely underestimated how hard it is to learn how to type in 1 week. I haven't typed in about 2 days now because I was just getting so frustrated every time I tried. I was able to get 28 words per minute at one point, which seems fine considering I started at 14 words per minute, but it's still pretty terrible. Honestly, I should have given myself more time for this challenge because I just don't think a week is enough to learn this skill, but I'm gonna keep trying, and I guess back to the video and we'll see what happens. I don't know. So obviously my strategy wasn't working, but with the little hope I had left, I tried searching for different ways to speed up the learning process. I really wanted to complete this challenge within a week, but with only 2 days left, it wasn't looking too good. So my only option left was a website that my girlfriend told me would guarantee my success, which got me pretty interested, and it's called Dance Mat Typing. You may have heard of it before or even tried it yourself, and you'll probably recognize it from this one phrase. It basically just teaches you how to type, except it's made for little kids. But I decided to give it a go because what else am I gonna do? Give up again? Maybe. This website was really annoying and tedious, and I was having a hard time focusing because my animals kept distracting me the entire time. But despite all of this, I felt like I was actually improving, and after a couple hours, I finally finished the course. So I went to go test my speed to see if anything had changed, and then this happened. 40 words per minute? That's so much better. This was a big game changer. My confidence levels skyrocketed, and I felt like I was actually able to complete this challenge. But I still had a ways to go before I got to 63 words per minute. But I had a plan. I was on to my final day of this challenge, and I needed to act fast. So I came up with a list of 4 things that should help me increase my speed by the end of the day. And the first thing on this list was my keyboard. Up until this point, I've been using my MacBook keyboard because that's just what I use the most, but I went ahead and replaced it to see if it was slowing me down at all. Next, I needed to correct my posture in order to see the best results. So I slid up in my chair and did my best to keep my back straight. Third on the list was my eyes. As you've probably noticed, I look down at my keyboard pretty often while I'm typing, but many sources tell you to not do that because it slows you down. So from now on, I'm gonna try to only look at the screen when I'm typing. Finally, the last thing on the list is just practice. So I spent the rest of my day incorporating these strategies into my typing. But unfortunately, even after a week of typing with all 10 fingers, it still felt really unnatural to me. And I would constantly find myself going back to my old method of typing. But after a full day of practicing, I was able to finally reach 47 words per minute. I guess I'll be sticking with 2 fingers.